M30 had people believing the reserve list was dead, that it was a dying market space that no one wanted to go in. Well, guess what? Market noise can be a very confusing thing, and players need to think again. Reserve list sales are starting to climb, the market is starting to become more stable, and in today's video, we're going to take a look at what's happening in this market space because players need to be aware of this. Think of a house in the middle of a great city. The house catches fire and burns down. There's barely one wall left standing. Who wants to get involved with something that ugly and disgusting? Well, everybody. Because it was never about the house, it's about the foundation, the land that house sat on. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on the channel today. This is an interesting time to be in Magic. For the longest time since 30th anniversary, reserve list cards have been receding in value, just going down. Everyone's wondering where the floor, where the basement is for this particular segment of Magic the Gathering. Everyone should stay away. It's worthless. It's not worth getting into. That's all people have heard from all kinds of content creators, YouTubers out there, as well as all the commentary out there in the market space. Wizards is going to reprint the reserve list. And guess what? That may still happen. We can't predict the future. We can't say that's not going to happen. So it very well could, and the arguments are there saying it's going to happen. I'm not going to try to dissuade you from that fact. What I am going to tell you is it doesn't matter. Because if it did matter, people wouldn't be buying the cards at all. If the market noise and fear drove you away to such an extent that you had no intention of buying reserve list cards, you weren't going to buy anyway. But somebody out there is still buying, and not only are they buying, sales are starting to ramp up in several cards. The prices are still falling. Everything is still low. But we've talked in the last couple of weeks about how some of these sales seem to be kind of leveling out. Some of the market space seems to be evening out on the platform because it's finally hit a level where people are willing to take a chance, like a real estate investment risk. They're like, I think this is the point in which I can dive in and maybe come out ahead if I get lucky. And if not, I'm okay taking the loss because everyone knows reserve list cards can go to zero, right? They're not worth anything. They are only worth the cardboard they're printed on and only to that particular player who's willing to pay that price and say, yes, I want that card. And if it goes to zero, I'm okay with it. Some people are perfectly happy with proxies. Other players want the real deal. Some players will be happy if Wizards reprints them. Other players say there should be value stored in those products to make this game a collectible game that has value and not just a proxy game that anyone can play. I don't care what side of the fence you fall on. I'm looking at the financial side of things and I'm telling you, things are starting to turn around a bit. And in today's video, we have to take a look at this because the reserve list top 10 this week was a lot more difficult for me to suss through because there was a lot of rising sales in a lot of areas. Nothing scary. We're not saying there's thousands of sales. It's no massive buyouts, but there is a couple of buyouts to talk about in today's video. There are a few things that happen when the market gets a little bit unbanned craziness going. So we're going to discuss that in today's video. Now, what I want you guys to be aware of is this is not a moment of panic. This isn't FOMO like, you're missing out. You're not missing out on anything. Any reserve list card you want is still out there for the taking. You can take your time. Things aren't going to spike up overnight. But there are interested parties out there now starting to notice the lowering of the platform of pricing. They are saying, I'm not really looking for dual lands, but there are a lot of funky reserve list cards that are kind of fun to have that were at like $200, $300, $400. And now they're like $50, $60. This might be my chance to grab a couple just in case things turn around. Just saying this stuff happens and you need to be aware of it. Players need to know how the space works. A lot of this is consolidation of power. If you have somebody telling you it's worthless and you should step away and they get you to believe that this is worthless and you say, you know what, maybe I should cash in and get some of my money out now. Well, I still can't. Doesn't it feel like the stock market? Everything's crashing. Get out now. Meanwhile, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer because people cash out. Somebody else buys up that worthless cardboard stock or magic card, and eventually things turn around and it goes back up in value, maybe even to higher heights. I say if you've bought the card and you own it and you're not at risk because you don't need the money, hold on to your stuff, man. Just hold on to it because you don't know what's going to happen. And that's the biggest advice I can give you. And this is a non-magic advice channel. This is an entertainment channel for fun. And I still say, hold on to your stuff. That's the reason I don't sell. I only accumulate the cards I really want to get my hands on, play with and build with and have a good time. And a lot of players get fixated on the value. Now, some of these cards do have value and will rebound. Others may stay junky, reserve list, nothings forever, and they're just a fun card you want to own. You'll decide that for yourselves wherever you are in this space of Magic the Gathering. Some players like to accumulate those worthless cards and have a little bit of fun. Remember that. So let's take a look at these cards. Let's see what's really happening in the market space, because some of these sales should be warning signs that things maybe are changing around for a lot of people out there who aren't aware of how this market works. Starting out at number 10 this week on our Yellow Brick Road journey is Savannah from Revised Edition with 39 sales August 4th to the 11th of 2023. The average price near mint for this card is $339.67 US. The market price is $341.88 US. €217.68 to get this card into your house. And here in Canada, you're looking at $450 for a near mint condition card. Now, a lot of players, though, who are buying this card are going still for the heavily played, moderately played, and even damaged conditions, because obviously these players seeking the cards out want the real deal. They don't want a proxy, and they want to be able to play the card, so they're making sure they can get a card they can afford. Guys, keep your eyes on reserve list dual lands. They always sell well. They're kind of like the state of like how things are going overall in the market. And then you can start looking around to see how other cards are faring by what players have an interest in. Now, number 9 this week with 40 sales is Fork from Revised Edition. It has an average price of $39.97 US, the market price of $39.19 US, and it's €20.59 to get this card into your house. Now, when you look at Fork, of course, being able to duplicate spells is always a good thing to have. It does see quite a bit of play, and at this price point, players have been taking advantage. It's almost at pre-2020 levels, and that has a lot of interest being generated by the player base who want these cards, of course, for Commander, most played format. Now, number 8 this week is Wheel of Fortune with 42 sales, again, Revised Edition. Average price $292.50 US. The market price is $284.94 US, and it's €169.86 to get this card to your house, around $350 Canadian for a lightly played copy, and all the way up to plus $100 if you want a near mint. It's kind of crazy to find them, but if you get a near mint one, it can be anywhere up to $450. You just got to look around. There's a real variance in Canadian pricing when we're looking between moderate, light, and near mint. Okay, guys, just keep that stuff in mind. A lot of sales recently. This is like the second or third week that Wheel of Fortune has been back on the list, with players taking advantage. Some cases, the exchange rate from Canadian to US dollars is so good that players in the US are taking advantage and having cards shipped over. I know quite a few of you are doing that. Good to take advantage of it. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the number 7 card this week. That is Mox Diamond from Stronghold. 49 sales this week. Average price $601 US. Market price $615.17 US. €437.65 to get this card into your house. And here in Canada, it ranges from around $650 all the way up to $900 Canadian, depending on the version you're going for. Near mint is anywhere up to $900 right now, but you've got the light played, moderately played, going for around the $700 to $785, and even some heavily played ones have been as low as $500 recently. So just keep your eyes peeled. I'm sure you'll find something that'll strike your fancy if this is a card you've been going after, which a lot of players seem to be having some interest in. Let's go ahead and take a look at the number 6 card. And yes, it is still Fast Bond, hanging into my top 10 list with 63 sales this week. I was very glad to hear it did not get unbanned, because that would have sent my mind into like a black hole trying to figure it out. Now, the average price is $16.49 US. It is increasing in price slowly as the market starts to get dried up. The market price is $14.15 US, €16.99 to get this card to your house, $20 here in Canada for a near mint copy of this card. Now, when we're going down to our number 5 card this week, we are talking about Fenrith Enchantress again from Visions. 69 sales this week. Now, this card has not really changed in price, by the way. It's still staying steady with the average price of $29.99 US. The market price is $24.79 US, €12.24 to get this card in your house, $40 here in Canada. But I'm surprised this card has not gone higher with the consistently high sales. It just means there's enough supply in the market that everything's being met evenly and nothing needs to change right now. It looks like everyone going after the Enduring Enchantments Index and trying to build off of that to a more refined commander deck. It just means there's a lot of sales of this card. I expect it to slowly dwindle off in the next week or two. Let's go ahead and drop down to number 4 this week, and this is the Felonite Monk, and this, of course, is from Fallen Empires. 71 sales this week, August 4th to the 11th. Average price is only $1.08. The market price is 95 cents. It's €1.86 to get this card to your house, $2 here in Canada. So what are we looking at when you look at a Fallen Empires card like this? Well, this is a 2 green, 2 generic Summon Cleric, and it says sacrifice a green creature to turn a target land into a basic forest. Mark the changed lands with a counter. So this is not an amazing reserve list card. There are ways of using it if you want to build around it, be kind of janky with all the token creation we have nowadays. Getting green tokens out is not that hard, and then be able to sacrifice them to mess up people's land isn't something new, but it can be kind of fun to do if your deck is built around a certain creation in green. There is a possibility to at least take out opponents' lands without having to have tons of land destruction. So great card to come around on. Let's take a look at the number 3 card. That is Braingeyser this week. Revised edition. 88 sales this week, guys. $16.41 is the average. The market price is $15.56 US. €14.70 to get this card to your house. $20 here in Canada. Now, Braingeyser is iconic. It's been here since the very beginning of the game. It gets played all the time still. For a while there, it really wasn't seeing a lot of play, but I am starting to see it more in blue decks. Now, target player must draw X cards, and there are ways, of course, duplicating and copying spells over and over. It can be a lot of fun, guys. Keep that in mind. This card, though, has not risen in price. It continues to fall. No rush to get it. And if you are buying it, you might as well spend the money and get near mint copies in case the market does rebound weirdly. You may be able to cash in on that later. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 2. That's right, Alliance's Soldevi Digger with 236 sales. That's right, it's not number 1 this week. Now, ever since the Doctor Who deck was announced, this card went through the roof. It's had massive sales all over the place. Last week was like 900 plus. This week is still 236, and that's because it's pretty much sold out everywhere, and the prices have been jacking up. You can see the market price change is massive. Okay, this thing's almost at $20 US now when you look at it in the secondary market. The average price is $14.45 US. The market price here says it's $9.96 that's US, and that's assuming you can find it. That's what I'm talking about. They can say whatever they want. If you can't find copies, you have to take the going rate, which in this case is going to be a lot more money than that if you're shopping on eBay and stuff. €3.39 to get this card to your house. $20 here in Canada if you can find it. Remember, this thing just recycles cards to the bottom of your graveyard, but that song creature, legendary from Doctor Who, lets you draw from the bottom. Tons of infinite combos possible. Amazing to see. But you know what? We're past this point. You guys are curious to see what the number 1 card is. And it is Time Spiral. And that's from Urza Saga. 412 sales this week. Average price $108.76 US. Market price $105.91 US. €88.31 to get this card in your house. Here in Canada, around $140 Canadian. Now, the price has not jumped on this card. It is kind of like steady the last couple of days. I don't know if MTG Stocks, where I got this information from, is going to rebound that price and show a bit of a spike next week. We'll have to wait and see on Monday how this all plays out. But that is a massive amount of sales. I stumbled on it because of the combo with Mind's Desire. I figured I better take a closer look and look around. And these are the sales we come up with. So massive sales because of Mind's Desire becoming unbanned. So keep an eye on this card, guys. If you have near mint copies, congratulations for holding on to those. So as we've been talking about, as we wrap things up, be aware of the market and the space and the noise around you telling you all negativity. There are bad things that happen, there are good things that happen, and there are recovery mode options where things are just kind of sitting stationary. Until it happens, it hasn't happened. Until the reserve list is actually reprinted and Wizards actually does it in a way that players accept, that's when it's like, oh wow, things have really changed, things have evolved. Until that point, the reserve list is still basically untouchable, and players want the real cards, they want to have the real thing to play with, and a lot of players don't want proxies. So it seeks those players out to buy the real deal, and with prices the way they are, it just shows things with the interest we've seen. Expect some stabilization and hardening of the market in the next little while. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me. Thanks for being here on the channel. And again, if you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I do upload daily content each and every day, and it's such a great game. Don't forget, bring a friend to Magic. And of course, guys, a big shout out and thank you to the fantastic patrons we have on the channel supporting this content each and every day. The fans of this channel make it happen. So thanks again to each and every one of you for your contributions to keeping this channel going. Patrons, you rock. You didn't see it coming because I didn't see it coming. I really thought Sylvevi Digger had the count down. And then I thought, wait a second, Mind's Desire. And I looked at some of the combo decks. They didn't go Time Spiral, huh? I better look at that card and review it. And I went into it, I'm like, although I did warn people on the Discord. If you're on my Patreon, you got that warning on the Discord saying, hey, this buyouts happening. This is crazy. I did warn people as soon as I found out. Crazy stuff, guys. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. I'm glad you guys made it to the end. This is epic stuff, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the market either hardens up or continues to go soft. Either way, I'm going to keep buying my reserve list card collection because I like building on it. Thanks again for being here, guys. Thanks for hanging out. And don't forget to drop a boomstick in the comment section. And I will see you guys on the live stream in probably just a few hours, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Be there.